Hey guys, I know there's no one here yet. I'm reading this because I'm trying to figure out. I love when you guys do this. For those of you that, what's up, Vinny? I love when you guys do this. So, so it tells me exactly what he wants done with all of his knives. What's up, Mr. P? So, I am fine. How are you, sir? What's going on? It's too thin. Too thin. It wants to... Thin handle can be cool, but in a knife this size, it wants to roll, if you can see it. Like this is where I want it. Like that. But it wants to go down here. You know what? I haven't seen as many fake straighters lately. So I had a bunch of stuff that I was doing this morning. I had to send invoices. Christopher, the guy that I sharpened, you guys saw the shear gore off. I'm going to do a video about that. And then I spent the morning this morning doing some stuff, and while I was doing that, I was trying to edit and upload the video that I shot yesterday, and somehow I managed to delete it. So that video that I had promised I was going to do on this, I have to redo it. But the nice thing is, it was like a dress rehearsal. So I can do it all over again. But I had to change out water, clean stones. Chicago police officer dies after being shot multiple times. That's not good. Being shot once is bad enough. Being shot multiple times is horrible. So, who else here? Let's see. Yes, I am pro guns. Matter of fact, that's my nickname. Guns. I'm hoping... So, I did a knife for a young man. I assume he's a young man, I say that. Well, it's Bradley. It's Coffee and Sharp Things on Instagram. I did a knife for him, and it came... What's going on? It came to me, I sharpened it. It was done the same way I do everything else, and texted me this morning and was like, hey, I'm not going to get into politics. So anyway, I did that knife for him. And he said that he cut like a couple pieces of cardboard and then it was dull. And he sent me pictures and you can see it. It almost looks like the edge was rolled. And so, like, it went from hair splitting, shaven sharp to nothing. And he's going to send it back to me. And we're going to see. I don't know, but it seems like it might be a heat treat issue. That's what it kind of sounds like, because he said he stropped it and it was sharp again, and then it just, like, the edge just rolled off. So what I'm wondering is if it's a heat treat. So what we're going to do is he's going to send it to me, and I'm going to resharpen it at a steeper angle. So I'm hoping that maybe what I'm thinking is, you guys remember the big LMAX hubbub that blew up about LMAX steel? And Jay Davis and all those guys were saying that, you know, it won't hold an edge, this and that. And a lot of times it was because, and I had personal experience with it. I had a Microtech DOC. Actually, I still have my Microtech DOC because it's Tactical Tuesday. When I got it, you would cut, it didn't come real sharp to begin with, and then you'd cut with it and it would get dull. And so, you know, I thought, okay, here we go. Maybe there is something to this LMAX scandal thing that was going on. But after a couple times of sharpening it, it was fine. So what I was thinking, what has happened, I know what has happened. It wasn't an issue with the primary grinding, and it wasn't an issue with their heat treat. What it was when they ground the edge, they overheated that right at the very edge, and in that really super thin area, and that, you know, after sharpening it a couple times, you took that crappy area where the temper was lost off. So, Tiger, my cat just threw up right here. I'm gonna close this. I don't want her house fall off. Much rather she threw up out here. So, I'm thinking that maybe after sharpening it at a steeper angle and having the second sharpening, that maybe we might be able to rectify the situation with this guy. Because, I mean, he spent, you know, he paid me to sharpen it. He paid me to do an orange peel on it. He paid for the knife. I'm not going to charge him to try. Basically, I told him, you ship it to me, and I'll give it another shot and see if we can rectify it. I'm not going to charge him for that, because there's a lot of water on top of the canopy. It rained last night. I want him to have a good product, especially considering he spent the money for me to take it apart, anodize it, and sharpen it, refinish the blade for him. You know, it just, I know that feeling of disappointment. What's up, Dwayne? It's G-U-N-Z. I know that disappointment of having something and then having it not wind up being the way I want. I don't like that. And so it's one knife. I can reprofile it. What is it? Chris Sanders. What is it that I heard somebody say? I would rather have happy, satisfied customers that return and that know that they can trust that I'm going to do everything I can, than to just basically, you know, something happens and then I turn around and tell them, that sucks, huh? I don't want to be like that. So I'm what's up, Dwayne? What's up, Ben? Dwayne, do you know when those knives are coming that you're talking about sending me? I just want to make sure I've got it in my head so I can account for time. And I still have not ordered, I've been so busy, I have not ordered handle material for your Hornet. I'm actually behind. Even though I was able to catch up, I'm behind. Jorga, I don't know. I did a lot, actually. Wanting to... Alright, I asked this guy if I could cut a notch in it. It's actually hot here underneath the canopy, Nico. Oh. Found it. Whew. Sweating up under here. Yeah, I gotta contact this guy and see if I can put... It was in a jacket that I wore last night, or the night before when I took the dog out for walks, so I forgot that I had put that jacket on. And so, like, when I came back, I hung it back up, and I was like, pocket. See that right there? It's not letting me. I've got a whole spot right there from about right here on back. It's not, stones aren't even touching it because it's got that big high point on it and it's hidden it's blocking my access. I'm gonna have to talk to that guy about what he wants on that. But pretty simple knife to do. Nice and thin. Won't take that much. Not keen on the sheath though. Let's see what's in here. There's a VDK cleaver. Let's see here. There's a chip. So this is the first I've looked at these knives. There's a chip that I'm going to have to remove. It looks pretty evenly ground, so I don't think that it's not that big a deal. Let's see here. This guy wants 8,000 grit. What else? The VDK. There's a booze smoke. I do like these. They're nice and thin. I don't know. Here's the thing. Okay, so what would you use this knife for? This knife has just got a really decent profile. It's just really broad. So, I mean, it's really not that different than an upswept. It's like a swept Warncliffe almost. It just looks like a cleaver. I mean, so it's not, I mean, it's really not that unfunctional. It's just heavy. It's just a broader blade than it needs to be. There's that. And I'm actually just getting to start sharpening today. Ah! I get to see my first Spidey chef. See, as you can see, you know what? It's really not that much different of a profile than this. This one's got a little bit more sweep to it, but it's just not as broad. This is a lot lighter. Spidey chef. Huh. Okay. So I did that Shirogorov Hati last night for Christopher, or yesterday. You guys saw it. Such a nice knife. I had a Hati that I got rid of. So wait a second. What's in the? Oh, I thought there was another knife in there. So there's only three. 3 knives for art. Okay. Well, I guess I'll start on these and then get a hold of the customer about that other one. Well, that was cold. That breeze blew through cold. Here. You guys know off the top of your head what these VDKs are, what steel they are? I cannot remember. I don't remember what steel they're in. It feels significant. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know. I have to look. I'd have to look it up. It's cutting. It feels like M390, but it's not marked. I don't think anywhere on it. Well, sometimes they mark it down here where you can't see it. Nope, I don't see anything. Actually, you know what? It's cutting more like maybe XHP. I mean, it could be M390. I don't know. No, I don't think it's M390. I wouldn't be removing that much material that quickly on this if it was M390. It would be definitely. It has a minor misgrind up near the tip and the heel, which is expectable. Happens with a lot of knives when they only get a belt edge. That's, you know what? That's what I was thinking, is it feels like either S35 or S90. I've sharpened 2 knives in S90 in the last couple days. And I don't, it's easier to sharpen than it's easier for it to cut than I remember. But it's tricky getting, you can't go too high up in the grit. If you go too high in the grit, it's slippery, it doesn't feel sharp. So the last 2 I've done have been done so that they maintain their tooth, and then I just strop them. So, no, I don't think it's AUSA8. AUSA8 cuts a lot easier than this. So I am going to spend some time in the next couple days to figure out how I can do a patron-only live Howls Lucky Thunder. Howls is a soda company. And they had distribution points in New York and Cleveland, but this is not an actual, it was Howl's root beer. I don't know what Howl's Lucky Thunder is. I've been told that it was, they sold that formula to another company for, and it turned into Orange Crush. So it was like an orange drink. I got this hat for free. I had a buddy that had a shop. It was on a shelf. He'd been trying to sell it. And he goes, dude, take that fucking hat with you. And that's where I got this and my Comp Cams hat. But this hat just fit perfect. I didn't even have to curl it. But as you can see, I have worn the shit out of it. I remember when it was brand new, it looked nice. It was, the bill was black, not gray. Mastrop's not doing those knives. Mastrop is marketing those knives. Elliot designed them. Mastrop is marketing them. We is producing them. And I think they're coming out really freaking good. Any experience with zero tolerances 20 CV? I have not had 20 CV from, I've never seen 20 CV from ZT. So that was Billy Smith. I have never seen 20 CV. I've seen their M390. I mean, yeah, it's the same steel, but they don't seem like they're screwing it up too much. But I haven't seen it, so I've never really had too many ZTs that were too screwed up. I mean, sometimes they have some misgrinds and stuff, but as far as overall construction and quality of construction, I mean, it's basically a common thing now for companies just like, hey, the knife looks straight, just let some 19-year-old kid that started working there sharpen it and it's screwed up, because they, at that point, they don't care anymore. They've built the knife. So it's sad to say, but I mean, it gets down to that point, but that's, I find irritating as somebody that does this. It makes it really hard on the consumer. So it makes it hard on the consumer. It makes it hard for the consumer to then take care of that knife. If it's misground, it's not going to stay sharp as well. I guess it's going to have to go on the diamond. Well, maybe not. Let's see if I can get it here. It's just this, the clip side has got a couple spots where I just can't get the apex jet. Just because it was a... Yep, that's why. Deputies pursue a wanted man in Gompers Preparatory Academy. It is cloudy enough, though, that I'm having to use my shop light, because if I don't, when the clouds go away, it gets dark. I don't really, if I can avoid, if I can avoid putting a knife on that really coarse diamond plate, I will, because this allows a little more control of how much material I'm removing. And it's not as hard to rectify the burr. A little bit more. All it takes is that sun goes away for a split second. The sun goes behind a cloud, and you're like, oh, it's chilly in here now. And then you're like, ooh. But if I take off my sweatshirt, then I'm cold. It's just that in-between temperature. I've got 3 that are ready to go as soon as somebody speaks up for them, and 1 that's already been spoken for. So if you're wanting one, you may want to let me know. Send me a text to the phone number that's usually at the beginning of my videos, because I have some, they already have black on them, and I saved a couple that I can just cut the spine. So if that's something you're interested in, I could have one done for you probably in a week. If I can get done with some of it. I want to get most of this sharpening caught up. Like I said, I had a busy morning this morning, didn't get around to any of it. Well, I've got guns, and if you try to take my guns, the bullets first, but you know, I'm not going to get into a bunch of political stuff. On my channel, because then it offends. I try to keep it neutral. That's why I don't talk about what I think about Trump's politics. I'm good at that. I didn't have a choice. And so it's real easy for me just to not take a stance either way. I may have a personal stance, personal opinion, but that's kind of something that I leave to... Okay, hang on a second. This is an actual question. Could you refinish a DLC-coated blade? I think I could. I think that I could learn it. Pretty sure I could. I mean... I don't see any real issues with it. Yep, I don't. Just on this site, in general. In general, I have Muslim friends that I've made over the years. One of the interpreters that I remember from Iraq. We stay in touch via email every once in a while. He's a really, really nice guy. Never once have I mentioned anything about his religion. Never once have I ever mentioned any of the things that happen in the world to him, because he's my friend, and if that happens, it can get offensive. You know, yes, I hate everyone equally too. Jake, it's my cousin Jake, by the way. So that's Jake Kirkman. Jake just said that he hates everyone equally. But, you know, the easiest way to lose a friend is to get into a politics or religion discussion with them. So I have subscribers all over the world now. And if I get to, you know, they may take things that I say as offensive. have a guy that keeps asking me on Instagram, make me a Trump knife, make me a Trump knife. No, whether or not I agree with his politics, the thing is, whether or not I agree with his politics, whether or not I voted for him, the fact is that the second I associate myself with that, he is one of the most polarizing figures in politics ever. And the second I associate myself with that, even at a customer's request, there's a good chance that now I have set myself up for a, I don't know, boycott of my channel and things like that. What'd you say? Sounds like you have healthy attitudes on these subjects. Healthy attitudes, yep. And my attitudes should not be reflected to this channel. No, my opinions on knives most definitely are reflected on this channel. And everyone is free to disagree with me. Like, there's a lot of people that say, oh, that's a ridiculous knife. I'd carry it. It's a quality knife. Not bad design. Not bad weight. It's got a gorgeous fucking Damascus pocket clip. What was that? I'd have... It doesn't really, though. It really doesn't have bad edge geometry. It's not that thick. It looks like it's really thick, but if you look at how it comes down, it thins out behind the edge significantly. Somebody just asked me my opinion on something. Hang on. Bumblebee scheme knives. Don't think I've ever seen... It is hot out here. Now the sun came back out. Now I'm hot again. At least the sun's out, because yesterday I had to wind up using that freaking heater for a little bit when it got dark. Oh, I don't hold back on opinions of knives. But it's all the other stuff, because that's what this channel's about, is knives. And for you guys is, you can disagree with me if you want, as long as you're not abusive. Really don't have an opinion. I haven't ever gotten a chance to handle one, really. I'll tell you the ones I do like are the ATVs, but they always have issues. My custom knives is a hobby that, you know, does pay me a little bit, but the custom knives is not... I want to get to where the custom knives are basically, if I can't make them, then I just refund back the money for the deposits. That's where I want it to be. You know what I mean? It's, you know, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't get to it. If something happens that I just can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? Right now, like I said, I was telling Dwayne, I'm behind again. I have not even started grinding his knife. I got the harder. I have not ordered fucking scale material. I'm gonna try and grind that knife this week, and those other 3 Hornets, or not Hornets, the other 3 Vipers. What's my favorite mainstream brand? Well, now that Ferrum Forge is becoming more of a mainstream brand, I'd have to say probably Ferrum Forge, followed real closely by like React, Spyderco. No, I can't really say that because there's only a couple of Spyderco knives that I actually do really like. A lot of their knives are just, you know, I like the Endura, I like the Delica. That's, you're running, you know, once you get up to there, you're talking about, yeah, this is not M390. I can tell by the way it's cutting on this 1000 grit stone. It's definitely different. I gotta clean the stone off again. Anything I consider myself a true expert at? Yeah. Machine guns. No joke, because I went to a school for it. I went to a school for machine gun and machine gunnery instructing, so I could teach how to break them down, how to field maintenance, how to fire, how to set up your fucking fields of fire, and 5-inch gun system. I'm a certified 5-inch gun system technician, and I am a depot level 25 millimeter chain gun depot level maintenance technician. Like, I can build a 25 millimeter chain gun from the ground up, given all the parts, including all the wiring and control systems. My entire job while I was in the military revolved around weapons of some sorts. I went to the Spec War Armorer School when you used to be able to go there without being part of the special Spec War teams. It was actually just the Armorer School. Now it's basically you can't go unless you're on the SEAL teams or EOD or something like that. I can grow the fuck out of some potatoes too. I hated doing potatoes. I mean, I think just those things would qualify me as an expert. I also have certifications in counter-surveillance, anti-terrorism, terrorism intel analysis, a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that I, in different circles, could be considered an expert. That, pretty good at sharpening knives. What do I use my knives for? I use my knives for damn near everything. Last couple days, opening frickin' packages. These guys have sent me a lot of stuff. I do, however, like I said, my bench is never too full. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get this business up. It's going well now. I've been able to. I have not started to reclaim money that I lost setting this up, but I am basically sustaining right about where I wanted to be between sharpening, refinishing, things like that. Like I said, if you want a knife refinished, the refinishing will have to be done on a weekend. I used to be good at throwing knives, not so much anymore, because I would do it for things like Frontier Days and things like that, because I'm a hillbilly, and but never like Like I just went out of my way to throw knives. I'm pretty sure this feels like it's S35VN, so I know where I'm going to stop. Well, at any rate, I know where I'm going to stop because he put it on his list. I love when you guys put notes in. That way I don't go, oh, did he want a 10,000 grit? But this guy wants 8,000 grit, which is where we're at. Did I ever anodize what scales? What are Flytanium scales? I'm sorry, I need a little clarification on that one. So I just got, so Russell's here. Russell's one of my patrons. I got somebody else on there. His name's Ian, and I just finished his knives yesterday. I need to make sure I don't overtire myself because, like I said, yesterday I shot a video, was in the process of editing it, and erased it because I uploaded it to my computer, my wife's computer, to edit it there because I thought maybe it'd be easier. I don't have the original. I took it off my phone to make room because it takes up a lot of space. And instead of just doing it the way I always do, I stepped out of I broke the cardinal rule. If you've done it if you've done it 1,000 times and you like the end result, why would you change your process? And I deleted the video. So, yes, it is something that I can do and could do all day, every day. And I did it yesterday. Today, I just was busy. I had invoices. I was talking with customers. And I was tired. I stayed up late last night, so trying to get some of this stuff done. That chip is completely gone. Yeah, that's good. That'd be what I was looking for. There's a little rough spot on this. I'm hoping I can, nope, I'm gonna have to go back to the stone. I was hoping I could burnish it out. Yep, right there. Small, and that's the thing, sometimes you're not gonna see it until you get to the very last stone, and then you gotta go back down to. Understand what I'm saying about not being able to see spots where you miss the scratch pattern? Okay, John. Weak. S90V is tricky. S90V, you can't try to go too coarse, or I mean too fine, but you also want it to look nice. was that? I'm pretty much, I really need to do the sharp, but I feel would be dulling my knives on purpose. I just have to. It's not 420, it is 220. For those of you that asked, I'm sharpening a VDK butcher cleaver, I guess. I don't know what they actually call this one. Field cleaver. Yep, I still gotta go down. Sweating. Now, I've been doing a lot of S90V lately. Is that what you said, Nico? S90V is not, it's not the incredible super steel that they truly make it out to be. It's not bad, but of all the S-series steels, I like S35VN. Yeah, VDK War Admiral, whatever. VDK big honkin' frickin' knife. Tell you what, it's gonna be sharp when it comes off of these. Do I attend Blade Show? No. Well, eventually I'm afraid I'm gonna have to really push what I'm doing harder. But, you know. You know, for some of these questions, you guys may want to just save them and if you haven't already entered in the giveaway, go back to that one, giveaway announcement video, and ask those questions there and get them in on the fucking thing. Get a booth, sharpen it. No. No! I'm gonna see what it looks like financially for me to go to Blade Show West. Where's Blade Show West? It's a fucking haul, right? I mean, it's still up north of here a ways. It's not in California. Portland. Well, that's still farther than I would want to try and go on the funds that I have. It's expensive. Just getting in is expensive, and I couldn't afford to have a table or a booth. Yeah, that's... Yep. That'll do. Doubt you'll buy S90V again after tried and failed. What was that? No, it didn't sound weird. It sounded perfect. After I tried and failed to sharpen, it's not worth it to me. Well, you know, I know a guy. If you get shit in S90V and you can't do it yourself, nah, it doesn't quite work like that. I mean, let's think about it. Would you just trust some dude sitting outside of a knife show saying he can sharpen your knives? Oh, yeah, okay. Nope. I would like to say that Nico giving out my business cards, wow, this one doesn't even have a tip. Knock the tip off of it. This one, as much as I hate to do it, is gonna have to go on here. Come on, I know one of you guys is a Benchmate fan and wants this. No one of you guys wants this. Quite breezy out here this afternoon. I know there's a couple of you Benchmate fans on here at least. I just really want to get rid of it. That one doesn't have a pocket clip. I don't even see a place for a pocket clip on that one. That one's a frame lock. Or, well, a liner lock, I should say. What is it? Yeah, liner lock. So this is a liner lock. But, like I said, this one didn't... All right, guess what? BB, you're being blocked. How do I? There we go. Too late. I already blocked you. Already blocked you. Yeah, I moderate my channel. I think if I block him here, it blocks him on the rest of the channel too. So, I mean, you can feel free to be stupid on somebody else's channel. Should have reported him. That's what I should have done. Let me see if I can go back and do that. Report. Hate speech or graphic violence. Report. There we go. There we go. Message reported. To get business, it would probably be... Well, how'd it come back up? There we go. He was hidden. Go find someplace else to be a fucking idiot. Fucking feel free to be an idiot, just not here. Fucking moron. Hey, my name's BB, I'm a fucking idiot. It occurs to me that when I see things like that, that obviously one of two things. Either his parents were related, or they never taught him a frickin' thing. Any way you look at it, this goes back to, I personally think that you should have to have a license to have a child. Oh, no, you're too dumb to have children. The kids will come out fucked up. Hey, BB, if you're still listening, because I know sometimes people do. Never mind. I don't want to say what I was getting ready to say. What was that, Eric? What did you say? What do these people do to get blocked? They have nothing better to do, so they start shit with the good guy. Hey, you know, I'm not saying I'm a great guy. I mean, I have admittedly said some fucked up shit, but I don't go out of my way to do it. In my case, it just happens sometimes. Sometimes I just lack that filter that keeps your mouth from saying what your brain's actually thinking. And it happens. I had a guy, I'm not gonna lie, I said one of the worst things I could ever imagine saying in my life. I said it, my wife was with me. We had went somewhere after we dropped off our daughter, and guy almost ran us off the road, and I pulled up and rolled my window down and yelled in the passenger window with this couple. I said, if you have children, I hope they die in a car fire. I'm not gonna lie. Horrible. But I was mad, and I let the monster all the way out. You don't let the monster all the way out. You let the monster into a little caged-in yard and let him bark. You let him all the way out, and things like that happen. I said it and immediately heard my father's voice in my head. What the fuck is wrong with you, boy? Do you want somebody to say that to you? I was like, sorry, Pop. I swear to God, I have actually heard my dad talk to me. And I know that it sounds like bullshit, and I've heard people say it, but there have been times where something was going on and I could hear my father's voice in my head out of nowhere. Just heard him say things like, calm down, Mike. He's a mouth breather. Nothing you say is gonna matter. And I'm like, thanks, Pop. And it's not just because I knew the man that well. I 100% believe it's him actually talking to. And I did. I felt bad. But that day, the monster got all the way out. Jumped over the fence. And it was loose amongst the peoples. Well, now. Tip has been repaired. It needs... I hate that dog. But I would never make the comment that that dude just made it. Hey, BB, if you're still on here, you know what? You're the kind of guy that if you had half a brain, you'd be fucking dangerous. That makes me mad. Now, Dwayne, you didn't miss much. We had a guy come on here and make a comment about he was gonna fucking lure his neighbor's dog into the yard and slit its throat because it makes him happy. happy, and I'm like, "Yep, you're blocked. You're going away. Don't need you on here." Pour the ground, pour the ground, pour the ground. Hey, Eric, did you already ship me that knife? Or are you shipping it? Or was there more? I can't remember. I get so many notifications about stuff lately. Thomas. If I had been by myself, it probably would not have been a big deal. So we're talking about road rage. For you guys that are lingering, so I carry my revolver in single action. Road rage can be a dangerous thing. Just watch the video where two guys were arguing, pulled over, and tried to kill the guy. Okay. That's not. So Thomas, you asked my take on a guided Edge Pro. I have an Edge Pro. I don't use it. I use the Stones. They're not bad. I just want to reiterate to people when they get them that there's still a lot of care that has to be taken in what you're doing, because you can really screw up a knife. You can screw up a knife a lot worse on a KME than you can freehand. Not even joking. I've seen it happen. I've seen it firsthand. So it's not that I think they're a bad thing. They're a great thing. But what I will say is, if you don't like sharpening in the first place, that, I think Dave on the Knife Nuts podcast said it too. It's not going to make it any more enjoyable. It's still going to be time consuming. It's still something you didn't want to do in the first place. And the fact is, there's a learning curve, which means that you're going to enjoy it even less than what you're already doing. Now, if sharpening is not something you mind, and you are willing to take time to learn how to utilize that system properly and things like that, then by all means go for it. But there are some things you just cannot do. Some things you just cannot do well on the fixtured system. Small knives. I did a right hummingbird yesterday. Not gonna be able to do that on a fixtured system. They're not great for bigger knives. They have a tendency to let you slip off the end and round your edge over. They have a tendency to be, because you're looking down on the blade, you don't know exactly where your stone is, and you can't see. With freehand, I can touch certain areas of the blade up more and not remove as much material. Just certain things that go along with. I'm going to have to. This has got a very bad spot at the heel of this. Just like Nico's. Nico, remember me telling you about how bad the heel on your booze blade, your booze, was it yours or Pip's? I don't remember. I haven't done yours yet, have I? It must have been Pip's. It was Pip Coronas. That was so bad at the heel. I want to be very careful with just this one. Yeah, Mini Arrow Mini. I don't think I've done yours yet. It had to have been Pip's. I just remember that one of you two had one that was very, very bad at the... Yeah, so then it was Pip's. Because Charles's wasn't that bad. Because it's still in the house. Because I haven't shipped it yet. Dwayne, are some of those knives that you're going to have me sharpen? Because if they are, you could have had Nico just give them to me instead of waiting on them and shipping them. You know, I see Nico every Friday. You could have just let him give them to me instead of getting them there and then paying to ship them back. I didn't work this morning. Well, I did. It was all I was doing. Here's the thing too, and I did and didn't know. I knew that there was going to be starting my own business. There's going to be administration stuff, but I spent the entire morning till 1 doing admin stuff, invoice stuff, and figuring out what I needed to order, because I'm going to have to order a couple things. Especially considering I'm doing all of Elliot's knives this next year. That's going to be a lot more wear and tear on my stones. So it's things that I had to go through. So I was contacting some people about different types of stones that I'm thinking about. I've heard that I don't like diamonds so much, but I've heard that there's some diamond stones out there that are the centered. I haven't left it all together. I still talk to those folks. It's just that I don't have time. I don't have time. It's like it was before I was doing insurance and trying to find time to do knives, but now I'm at the point where I'm focusing on this because nothing against those guys, you know, they some of the guys do a really good job of making a living at that, but for me right now, so much stuff coming in and so many things to do, instead of spending a week, how do I put this? If I spend a week doing insurance, there's no guarantee of income. I spent a week doing this, I'm going to make money. And the more I focus on this, the more people realize that, you know, the more people that get knives, the more people, or knives that I sharpen, I should say, the more people that are going to realize that, not bragging, that I do a really good job. Short of there being something wrong with the knife, steel, there's no reason that a knife I sharpen for you is not going to hold up and be sharp. I've sharpened a bunch of knives for Nico, and yes, yeah, they hold their edge really well. And he uses he does all shit. Like, I sharpened his Mordax for him, and he was using it the one day doing AC install, cutting out, what were you cutting? Siding or some shit? Vinyl siding? No, it's not over in real time. Still live. Anybody else get video out of sync with the audio? Hang on a second, I heard something. Oh, hey, that's cool. Bag of dog shit. Wow, it's way cooler out from under this. When my daughter takes the dog for a walk, she doesn't like to walk around in the dark. She just likes to go straight back to the garage because it's dark underneath the out around the quarter. Audio cut out, but I mean, is it in time with in sync with the video? I don't know. I don't know what their plan is for Blade Show. So that was A-Ray asking about Chris and Elliot going to Blade Show. I do not know for sure. Well, any of you guys had a problem with S35BN that just doesn't feel like you're getting it as sharp as you want it, out of curiosity? Because I went through this with Chris one time. He was having a hard time with a knife that he had that was in S30. It was one of the prototypes of the Falcon. he's like, he didn't feel like he was getting it sharp, and it reminded him that you can't use, like, they do or 20 CV on their knives, and so you can get away with a little pressure on those. That blade will, that steel will, but if you're doing something like S35VN, if you're using the same amount of pressure like you would be, my wife's on. You'd be rolling your edge. I think she's getting my daughter's skating stuff together. My daughter has skating tonight. I will probably be out here sharpening. Eric, I'm sorry, did I miss the comment? I can't tell whether you actually, I couldn't see if you actually said that you sent the knife that we talked about. I know you sent me something on Facebook or Instagram, I don't remember which. No. Do this. We got 1, 2, 3 more knives here, and there's 2 more boxes in the house. My daughter's timetable for Olympics. Don't know. She drives herself so hard. Wilderness survival. How am I doing? I'm doing well. How are you? Oh, this one had an issue. It has a tip now. There we go. I did. I used to do. Okay, so that trick, I giggled when I saw it. We used to do that. When you're a weapons guy, you have to do an inventory of weapons. So you do a daily count turnover, which is just count them. You do a weekly a strop is the best way to maintain. Depending on the steel, you can strop a knife pretty much indefinitely as long as you're not pushing too. I mean, not indefinitely. You are going to eventually have to remove chips and cracks. But as far as sustainment, a strop, that's... this one just got restropped, and it was pretty dull. Now it's coarser than I guess not. But all I did was restrop this one. So, by the way, remember I was telling you guys yesterday, Nico, I finally have an EDC flashlight. Here it is. Size of a chapstick. Fits right in my watch pocket. Or, if I turn the ends around and the battery around, I can clip it on my hat like this and point it down while it's backwards, but I can go like this and I can have it pointing down where I'm working on the grinder, so I can see exactly what I'm doing. No, this one's the brass. This is the brass one. Brass! Is it? No, this is copper. Wait, which is this, Nico? It's good. God damn it, Mike, you fucking pothead. Stropping, though, you want to use... I need to do a video just strictly on stropping. Because I've had people completely... I think it's brass. I think you're right, it's brass. It's darker. The copper ones are lighter. I mean, they're just the same thing. Copper, brass, they're the same. Just a little bit of a alloy of the other. A little tin in one. And some manganese, I believe. Let's see here. This was Sempernight. I do. Here's the thing. My grandfather was. Nico, is this brass or copper? The one you gave me. Can't remember. So anyway, my grandfather taught me how to and he always had a slipstone in his pocket, little like this. This is a little slipstone, and he always had it in a little. It's brass. Yeah, it was in a little leather pouch. It was an Arkansas stone, and he would touch knives up on that. So the first thing I ever learned to really sharpen on were stones that were like this big. I can't get a convex the way I want it on a bench stone on the flat bench. So bench stones, I pick up, I hold them in my hand, and I have no idea. Nico gave it to me with the model. So it's Rish 2112. Asked what? Oh, hey, yeah, you're late. Asked me if he asked me what the model number was on this. Anyway, so I learned to do it on small stone, and these are pretty close to that in size, just longer, and so I'm able to get a more controlled convex. Than I am trying to the whole thing, because now I've gotten to where I move the stone and I move the knife together. I like the clicky. So it just feels like I got more control and in maintaining the angle with these small stones. Hi, hi. I gotta take the dog for a walk. I mean, I can do the same thing with a large bench stone in my hand. It's just not as tiring to do it this way. That was a good gust of wind. Just actually moved my canopy a little bit. Seems to be holding pretty well though. I have it anchored there with pins, and I have a it got windy all of a sudden. A little cloudy spot. A little cloudy spot right up there. That's weird. Let's see. It's S35VN. It has a tendency to do that. See what it looks like at 3,000. So S35VN, like I said before, I don't like taking up above about 3,000. It just doesn't seem to perform as well. It doesn't seem like it doesn't like that edge. VG10, N690. Well, N690, like in my my NTAC will take a 10,000, 12,000 grit edge, but it just seems like there's certain metals that just like to have a little lower grit D2 will polish up gorgeously at 1,000 grit. It's just like they don't need to go up as high, but at 2,000, 3,000 grit, S35V is like sticky sharp. Yeah, it actually works. It's ceramic. I did a video, I did a video, I sharpened a knife on a car window. On my Volkswagen window, as a matter of fact. Matt helped me shoot that video. Yeah, I think that's about where we're going to stay with this one. Well, he said he wanted 8,000. We'll see what it feels like at 8,000. I think that the Wii's S35VN will go to 8,000 pretty well, pretty readily. It's not that big a deal. We'll go ahead and do it. Why not? I gotta do something first. The stone's starting to slick up. It was absorbing steel and filling in the gaps needed to be available for sharpening. So I was losing its abrasive capability. It was just sliding. A couple stones that do that. What was that? Later. This one still feels... Sometimes 8,000 grit S35VN, depending on how hard it is and the heat treat, just doesn't feel like it is sharp anymore. It just feels slippery, kind of like S90V does when you get above 8,000 grit. How do I clean my strops? Well, they are balsa wood, so basically I just wipe them down with paper towel until it looks like I've gotten the majority of the surface layer of the diamond compound. What was that? But that's basically all I do with my strops, my balsa wood strops. My leather strop, I just scrape it with the backside of a knife. There we go. That's cutting way better than it was. On my leather strap, that's what I told you guys, that's what this is for. This sits here and I scrape off all the old yeah, sorry. That still drives me, that BB guy, just fucking shit like stupidity like that just fucking irritates me. That is a Booze Smoke production knife from Wii. that I am sharpening. And they are very nice knives. Still just got the spot right at the very tip. Pine cones falling out of the trees. The heel. I mean, I don't know what you're looking at. There's the heel. Right there. There it is. Ah, I gotta go to Bender. That's who owes me money. Bender. I gotta get a hold of him. Forgot. Well, guys, that's another hour and a half that we've done this. I'm going to let you guys go so that I don't distract myself. Unless you guys really want me to keep going. Okay, Ken. It's up to you guys. It is your channel more so than it is mine. That is just a cloudy area in the seal. That's weird. Well, S35EN does have a tendency to do that when you start getting higher up in the grit. It almost wants to get cloudy sometimes. Vinny and I were talking about that. I'm the dancing monkey. The dancing monkey that you guys watch. Okay, so does this one. If you look, it ramps. See how it ramps up? I was able to sharpen it all the way down, but I mean, I would have wanted that choil to come out further. I've seen a couple of them do that. Oh wow, this Spidey Chef is dull. Okay. LCN 200N. Let's go inside. I want to look this up. I'm going to take you guys with me since we're going to keep doing this. LCN 200N. Never seen that. Let's look it up and see what it is. And then I'm going to let you guys go. So we're going to look and see what this is. LCN 200 LCN 200N. Anybody know anything about it? First deals, LCN. Let's look at I'm not seeing what I want to see here, which tells me about, I'll have to look it up later. Well, we'll see what it feels like on the stone. So you guys said it's, what somebody just said, it's steel, it's supposed to be pretty good. Like H1 meets S35BN. Is that nitrogen? Is that nitrogen steel that's supposed to be the rust-free that they're going to use instead of instead of H1? Is that the one? Is that the corrosion-free nitrogen steel that they're converting their salt series to? Okay. Yeah, then I have heard about it. We're going to see how it looks. I liked it. I liked H1. H1 was a fairly decent steel. It held an edge pretty well, stuff like that. Don't know. Do you know I'm going to have a beer? I didn't get anything shipped out today, so those of you that are looking for things, it didn't go out. I was supposed to sheath today and not finish knives. Give you guys a couple more minutes. Ask any questions. Anybody got any questions that maybe they already asked questions in the giveaway, but have other questions they want me to answer? I'll take a couple minutes because I'll take a quick break here. Still haven't gotten an answer back from that guy. Now, I have had a few of you guys ask me about the ceramic coatings and how well they hold up. I'm going to tell you right now, so to answer that question, since I got you guys here. They hold up very well, depending on what you're going to do with them. I mean, if you're cutting open bags of dirt and bags of sand and things like that, it's probably not going to hold up as well as it would for the day-to-day riggers. Like I cut a lot of cardboard and stuff like that, zip ties, and the ceramic seems to hold up to that really well. I haven't cut a lot of exotic shit since I came back from the farm. I took my Archbishop to Ohio with me, and I did cut a bunch of stuff on the farm. I cut down some thistles and shit like that, and then I actually cleaned a battery terminal on a tractor with it. Cleaned a battery terminal on a four-wheeler with it. So it does hold up really well. That nano ceramic coating holds up very well. So it holds up better than Cerakote against scratches and things like that. And I think that's because it's a really thin, really hard, really smooth coating. Stop. Dog will sit there and chew on her foot until it's fucking bloody. And we haven't ever figured out why. I can put it on titanium. You can anodize titanium, and that's a nice thing. You can do like two-tone. I call it just the touch coating, or just the touch finish, because it's just a touch of whatever color. You do the full ceramic, and then you tumble it for a little bit and exposes areas, and then you do an anodizing under it or a second ceramic coating color. So I do it on my neck knives. There's been a couple of them that you guys have seen where it gets black and then tumbled and then another color. Wow. This is really loaded. Well, the ceramic lasts longer than anodizing. That and the Cerakote, when you feel it, it feels soft. It feels softer. And so, cleaning up my Chaucer stones a little. They're starting to belly out in a couple places. Didn't do these the last time I did my stones. I'm starting to run into issues from it. There's some nicks and chips and things in them. You know, it just depends on what you're wanting. You can get a more, well, like you guys have seen the blue that I did on a couple of those knives. If you follow my Instagram, that's Anno. It comes out gorgeous. It's really robust. It's really bright. The ceramic, I don't know. It's like It's like $60 for a bottle, and you can use that bottle a lot. It's just, it's not as complicated and time consuming. I'm not sure what we use is. Are you talking on the titanium? Because if you're talking on titanium, that's anodizing. That's good enough. Let's hit this one up a little bit. So I just cleaned this workbench. It's fucking filthy. They may be using a type of ceramic. Well, that wasn't the whole point of the channel. The whole point of the channel was for you guys to send me your knives, not for me to teach you how to do it yourself. No, I'm kidding. Ew. Here's the thing. Guarantee that you folks are going to run across a knife that you would not be comfortable sharpening. And that is where I fall in. And the flip side of it is, most people, unless you're sending me an expensive knife, are not going to be happy with the prices I charge. You know? People that complain about the prices, like 25 bucks sharpen a knife. I'm like, well, remember, a lot of these knives are that people are sending me are rather expensive. Well, if you send it, because I've done S110V a couple times. I'm pretty confident sharpening it. Did a couple dire wears that were in that steel. Trying to clean this off. So somebody just asked a question. I have my hands full. Thanks, Ken. You beat me to it. 100% believe that Emerson is one of, like, people think I don't like cold. I love cold steel knives. Their knives are great. And their designs are great. There's just quality control is lacking a little bit. But then again, a lot of companies' quality control is lacking when it comes to certain things. Sharpening, edge grinds. I mean, there's stuff that slips. I mean, I get it. And I can rectify those for other people, but when it comes down to a knife company that I feel is completely overrated and charges more than they ever should for poorly built knives, then it's Emerson. It is. I would love for a company to reach out to me and ask me to run their QC. It would be great. What about OTF knives? Honestly, I have one, and it's just a cool factor. I really don't feel that OTF knives fit much of a purpose, except it looks cool. They have their own issues. Been 96 minutes, guys, and I haven't gotten a lot done. may seem like it to you guys, but I have not gotten a lot done, and I have a lot more to do. So I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have a great day. I'm going to reshoot the video about the, I can't remember how to pronounce it. This one. I'm gonna reshoot the fucking Transformer goddamn Decepticon knife, the fucking GoBots knife here. So I need to get off of here. I gotta focus on this, or I'm not gonna get done. Because I need to get this shit done so I can go work on knives tomorrow. Later. Easy. I'll see you guys next time.